Hey Redux Rebels, this is Chelsea. We are here with the multi-talented Ivy Doomkitty. How are you, Ivy, and how are you liking Comicapalooza so far?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm having a great time. I was here at Comicapalooza last year, so very excited to be back and just hang out with fans and just, talk to everyone and reconnect with everyone. So it's been great. It's been a lot of fun. It's been an insanely busy Saturday, for sure.
Okay, well, the person that was just up here sang you a song has there been anything strange, or any romantic other gestures that anyone's done for you?
I've been proposed to several times. I've been given flowers a couple times now. I have flowers right now that someone gave me earlier, and I got roses from someone else at the last show I've been. That's been a new thing, it's actually really sweet. I'm like, oh, I can get flowers. Yes, I got sung to, or I guess serenaded, earlier to Deftones' "Change in the House of Flies," which is my favorite Deftones song ever. And it's been fun. I think it's sweet.
Okay, would you mind telling everyone exactly how you got into cosplay and what made you start?
Sure. Well, I've been going to cons for about 10 years as an attendee. I've always collected comic book art, statues, figures, comics. And when I went to my first comic book convention, I saw cosplay for the first time, loved it, and said, you know what, I want to make costumes of my favorite characters and dress up as them too. But it was one of those things that I was afraid of doing it because I thought that I would be made fun of for my body type because I wasn't the, ideal. So I didn't do it. And it wasn't until almost 3 years ago that I said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make my first costume and I'm going to have fun with it and do it for me. And to hell with Hollywood standards. I'm just going to do it. I made my very first costume. I wore it to the San Diego Comic-Con, had such a blast wearing it. And since then, just been making costume after costume after costume. So been hooked, and it's one of those things that just gets massively addicting, and have been doing it since.
Can you share with us your process for picking a costume and then how you go through picking the materials and everything?
Yeah. I have a list of all the different characters that I want to do. And I actually use this app called Cosplanner. It's a free app, and it's awesome. It helps me with organization because I'm so disorganized. You can put in all the different characters that you want to cosplay as. And for me, it's, characters from video games, comics, movies, anime, all of those different genres that I've grown up liking that I put on my list. And from there, just depending upon how much time I have before a con, determines what character that I do. Or, for example, if there's a bunch of friends that are going to a show and we want to do a group, then, we'll figure out, okay, well, let's see which character from my list do I want to do, and can we fit this into a particular group kind of a thing. And then from there, and also, for example, let's say, there's a movie coming out and, it happens to be something that's in everyone's mind, and, I'm reading a comic at the time, or I'm playing a video game, or I'm watching a movie, and that inspiration for a particular character hits me, then my mind will shift from one thing to the next, and I'll start working on that costume, which is why I have about 4 or 5 costumes that are halfway done, because I keep switching gears. I'm like, oh, wait, but I want to do this now. Oh, but I want to do that now, and I keep flip-flopping between stuff. But, yeah, for me, it's all about just picking the character that I feel passionate towards or that I love.
How often would you say that you make a new costume?
It used to be one new one for every show I was going to. Because of my traveling schedule, this is my 9th show in a row right now without a break. My production in terms of costuming has gone down substantially. So at this time, I'd say I've made 2 this year, and we're almost halfway through the year, which for me, I don't like, because I love being creative. For me, it's a creative outlet, and not being able to complete something by a deadline that I want to do frustrates the hell out of me. So, yeah, usually, when I first started cosplaying, I did 16 costumes the first year. And I was all the costumes, I make all the things. So yeah, this year I've only done 2. I hope to get at least another 3 done in June when I'm on my break, and hopefully finish those other 4 that are kind of just sitting there waiting to get done. So yeah, it's been a lot slower just because I've just been so busy with traveling. I don't have the time to work on the costumes that I have at home right now.
What would you say has been your most favorite costume to make so far?
I'd say it's a toss-up between my Dr. Doomkitty and Bison. Bison is my more recent one. It's also very, very comfortable. The pants are joppers, so it feels like you're wearing these massive pajama pants all day long. It's great. I'm so comfy in them. But then, I like Dr. Doom because of the fact that it's a fusion of, different fabrics and armor, and it's different. And, it's a mixture of my name, Ivy Doomkitty, and Dr. Doom. So for me, it's definitely one or the other. It's a toss-up between the two, but usually ends up being one of the most recent ones that I'm working on overall. That tends to be my favorite at that point in time.
And I know that there's a lot of cosplayers that have come up to you. Do you have any advice for anyone that's not here that would like to have any inspiration from you?
Advice for other cosplayers: have fun. Do it for you, not for anyone else. At the end of the day, as long as you enjoyed yourself and you had fun being in costume, then that's the most important thing. Don't do this to please others, otherwise you'll never be happy. Do it to for yourself, for your own happiness. And never be afraid to ask for help, or if you have a question about costuming or anything like that, always be open to ask the community for help, because in general the community is very open and very forward with the information they have for costuming. Or also, don't be afraid to work with new materials, things like that. Just push yourself to work with stuff that you're uncomfortable with, because you never know you're going to be good at it unless you try.
And can we get like a sneak peek of like what you're going to be working on next?
Oh, several things. Okay, so I'm working on Zatanna, I'm working on Cammy, I've been working on Bowser, Magneto, Darkseid, Jafar, and Gaston from Beauty and the Beast.
That's a lot of villains. Are you feeling like the villain mode?
I'm actually very partial to villains. I prefer to cosplay as villains versus heroes. They speak to me because I feel that they're very much misunderstood. They're a product of the things that they've gone through in life that shape them into who they are. Half the time, if you when you do your research on some of the villains like Magneto or Dr. Doom, for example, they had a really crappy upbringing. A lot of really bad stuff happened to them when they were growing up, and that's why they're so flawed now in their adulthood. And I feel for them. I'm sorry. I feel for the bad guy. I'm partial to the bad guy. So yeah, I love cosplaying as the villains. They're a lot more fun. Also, so yeah, there's the Darkseid one. I'm doing that with a group. It's a Superman group for San Diego Comic-Con. So, I'm going to have a lot of fun, just being the bad guy for that one. And, same thing goes with, all the other ones, like Gaston. There's a few other ones that I want to do, but I'm not going to say anything about those because I'm nowhere near getting those even started right now.
Well, there you have it. It's villain-loving Ivy Doomkitty. This has been Chelsea with RebelSaga.com. Keep it epically real.